Thanks for listening to today's episode of Medical Device Global Market Access by Pure Global. Today we're diving into a critical update from the U.S. Food and Drug Administration that will impact nearly every medical device manufacturer planning to enter or remain in the U.S. market. The FDA has released its finalized guidance on human factors engineering, or HFE, which introduces significant changes to how manufacturers should approach usability for pre-market submissions, including 510(k)s, de novos, and PMAs. For years, the FDA's stance on HFE has emphasized ensuring that a device's user interface has been designed to minimize use-related hazards. While this core principle remains, the new guidance, set to become effective on January 1, 2027, formalizes a more structured, risk-based framework that moves away from a one-size-fits-all approach. This shift is designed to better align the regulatory burden with the actual risk posed by the device's use and its user interface. So what are the key changes? The most significant update is the introduction of a three-tiered risk categorization for HFE submissions. Tier 1 is for low-risk devices where use errors are unlikely to cause serious harm. These submissions may only require a descriptive summary of the HFE process. Tier 2 applies to moderate-risk devices and requires a comprehensive HFE report, but with some flexibility in study design. Tier 3 is reserved for the highest-risk devices, such as life-sustaining equipment, combination products, or devices with novel user interfaces. These will now require more rigorous HFE validation, including summative testing, with a statistically significant number of participants and potentially multiple distinct user groups. The guidance also places a stronger emphasis on identifying and analyzing critical tasks early in the design process and provides clearer definitions for what constitutes a use error versus a use difficulty. This updated framework affects virtually all manufacturers submitting to the FDA. If your device has a user interface, which most do, you need to pay close attention. Companies with software as a medical device, or SaMD, and devices intended for home use or use by laypersons will feel the impact most acutely. The new tiered system means you can no longer simply follow a standard HFE report template. Instead, you must prospectively classify your device's use-related risk and tailor your entire HFE and usability engineering process to match the FDA's expectations for that specific tier. This documentation must be clear and defensible within your submission. The official implementation date for this guidance is January 1, 2027. Any pre-market submission filed on or after this date will be expected to conform to the new framework. This means that if you are currently in the development phase for a product you plan to submit in 2027 or later, you must align your HFE activities with these new requirements now. Failing to do so could result in a refuse to accept notice or significant delays during the substantive review process as you scramble to fill gaps in your HFE data and documentation. So what practical steps should your team be taking? First, we recommend conducting a thorough gap analysis of your current HFE standard operating procedures against the new guidance document. Identify where your processes fall short, particularly in the areas of risk-based categorization and critical task analysis. Second, for products currently in your development pipeline, you should immediately reevaluate and document your HFE strategy according to the new three-tiered system. This will determine the level of effort and evidence required for your submission. Third, update your usability engineering file templates to reflect the new documentation requirements. Ensure they clearly link your risk analysis to your HFE validation activities. Finally, begin planning your budget and timelines for summative testing, as Tier 2 and Tier 3 devices will face greater scrutiny and may require more extensive and potentially more expensive studies than you have conducted in the past. Navigating these regulatory shifts can be complex, especially when managing multiple global submissions. If you need support in aligning your HFE process with the new FDA guidance or require assistance with your 510(k) or PMA submissions, please check out Pure Global. Our team of regulatory experts, supported by advanced AI tools, can help you create a robust strategy for U.S. market access. You can find more information, including our free AI-powered regulatory database, in the description of this episode. Thank you for listening, and we'll see you next time.